While millions of tourists flood the overcrowded beaches of Western Europe, paying premium prices for selfie spots they've seen 1,000 times before, an entire region of stunning landscapes, rich cultures, and profound history sits virtually untouched just a few hundred miles away. The Balkans, a name that still conjures images of conflict for many, yet hides some of Europe's most breathtaking secrets. What if everything you thought you knew about this corner of the world was completely wrong? The Balkan Peninsula stretches across southeastern Europe like a bridge between east and west, encompassing countries that have witnessed the rise and fall of empires and the preservation of traditions that date back millennia. From the turquoise waters of the Adriatic to the snow-capped peaks of the Dinaric Alps, from medieval monasteries clinging to cliffsides to Ottoman bridges spanning crystal-clear rivers, the Balkans offer an authenticity that has all but vanished from mainstream European tourism. Yet despite housing some of the continent's most spectacular natural wonders and cultural treasures, these lands remain overshadowed by their more famous neighbors. While Prague drowns in tour groups and Dubrovnik struggles under the weight of cruise ship passengers, the hidden gems of the Balkans wait patiently for discovery. Today, we embark on a journey through 8 extraordinary destinations that will forever change how you see this remarkable region. Our first stop takes us deep into the Albanian Riviera, to a village that seems to exist outside of time itself. Nestled between towering mountains and the Ionian Sea lies Dermi, a coastal paradise where ancient olive groves cascade down to beaches of pristine white pebbles. Unlike the developed resorts of neighboring countries, Dermi maintains its traditional charm with stone houses topped by terracotta tiles, their walls weathered by centuries of Mediterranean sun and sea spray. The village sits dramatically on a hillside, offering panoramic views across waters so clear they appear almost artificial. Below, hidden coves accessible only by narrow footpaths reveal beaches where the only sounds are waves gently lapping against the shore and the distant bells of mountain goats. The local tavernas serve fresh seafood caught that morning, prepared with herbs grown in gardens that have nourished families for generations. As sunset paints the sky in shades of amber and rose, the mountains behind the village glow like ancient citadels, creating a scene of such beauty it feels almost mythical. From the Albanian coast, we journey inland to a place that challenges every preconception about the region's landscape. Lake Ohrid in North Macedonia is one of Europe's oldest and deepest lakes, its waters holding secrets that stretch back over 3 million years. The town of Ohrid, perched on the lake's shores, earned its nickname as the Jerusalem of the Balkans for housing over 300 churches and monasteries within its boundaries. The lake itself seems to change personality with the light, shifting from deep sapphire in the early morning to brilliant turquoise as the sun reaches its zenith. Ancient lakeside churches like St. Naum Monastery appear to float on the water's edge, their Byzantine domes reflected perfectly in the still surface. Beneath these pristine waters swim endemic species found nowhere else on Earth, while above, traditional fishing boats with colorful sails drift silently across the surface just as they have for countless generations. The cobblestone streets of Ohrid's old town wind between medieval houses with distinctive bay windows that seem to lean out over the water, as if trying to catch whispers from the lake's ancient depths. Local craftsmen still create traditional filigree jewelry using techniques passed down through centuries, while lakeside cafes serve dishes featuring the famous Ohrid trout, a delicacy that has graced royal tables throughout history. Our journey continues into Montenegro, where the Tara River has carved one of Europe's deepest canyons through the heart of the Dinaric Alps. The Tara River Canyon stretches for 50 miles, its emerald waters threading through limestone cliffs that soar nearly 5,000 feet toward the sky. This pristine wilderness remains largely untouched, protected as part of Dermata National Park and recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Rapids rush through narrow gorges where the canyon walls close in so tightly that sunlight barely penetrates to the water below, creating an almost cathedral-like atmosphere of hushed reverence. Ancient pine forests cling to impossible slopes, their roots finding purchase in cracks between rocks, while pristine waterfalls cascade down sheer cliff faces, their mist creating rainbow veils in the filtered sunlight. The famous Tara Bridge, an architectural marvel completed in 1940, arches gracefully across the canyon, its concrete span seeming impossibly delicate against the massive scale of the surrounding landscape. During World War II, one of the bridge's own architects destroyed part of his creation to prevent enemy forces from crossing, a sacrifice that speaks to the fierce independence that characterizes this entire region. Crossing into Bosnia and Herzegovina, we discover Plitvice, a medieval town frozen in time above the Neretva River valley. This remarkable settlement appears to grow organically from the rocky hillside, its stone buildings climbing toward an Ottoman-era fortress that crowns the summit like an ancient sentinel. During the height of the Ottoman Empire, Plitvice served as a crucial fortified administrative center, and today its architectural harmony represents one of the finest examples of medieval urban planning in southeastern Europe. Narrow stone staircases wind between houses built directly into the hillside, their walls incorporating the living rock itself. The famous Sisman Ibrahim Pasha Mosque, with its elegant minaret reaching toward the sky, stands as a testament to the region's complex cultural heritage. From the fortress walls at the town's peak, views stretch across the Neretva Valley, where emerald farmland gives way to distant mountains that seem to float like islands in the morning mist. Local artisans continue traditional crafts in workshops tucked into medieval buildings, creating pottery, textiles, and metalwork using methods their ancestors perfected centuries ago. The sound of hammering on copper echoes through narrow streets, while the scent of traditional Bosnian coffee drifts from tiny cafes hidden in stone courtyards where time seems to move at a different pace entirely. Our exploration leads us next to Kosovo's Rugova Canyon, a spectacular gorge that slices through the Balkans' most pristine wilderness. This dramatic landscape, carved by the Pek Bistrica River over millions of years, creates a natural corridor through towering limestone peaks where griffon vultures soar on thermal currents and brown bears still roam ancient forests. The canyon extends for 15 miles, its walls rising over 3,000 feet above the rushing river below. Medieval villages perch on narrow ledges carved into the cliff faces, their traditional stone houses seemingly defying gravity as they cling to impossibly steep slopes. These settlements have endured for centuries, their inhabitants developing unique mountain cultures adapted to life in this vertical world. Hiking trails wind through beech and pine forests where the silence is broken only by the distant cry of eagles and the whisper of wind through mountain peaks. Hidden springs emerge from rock faces to create pools of crystal-clear water, while meadows filled with wildflowers bloom in hidden valleys, accessible only to the most dedicated travelers. The Via Ferrata climbing route offers adventurous visitors the chance to traverse cliff faces using fixed cables and ladders, providing access to viewpoints where the entire canyon spreads out like a living map of geological time. We journey next to Serbia's Uvac Canyon, where the meandering river has created one of Europe's most spectacular natural phenomena. The Uvac River winds through limestone terrain in such dramatic curves that from elevated viewpoints it appears to tie itself into impossible knots. These serpentine meanders, viewed from the canyon rim, create a hypnotic pattern that seems almost too perfect to be natural. The canyon serves as a sanctuary for the endangered griffon vulture, one of Europe's largest birds of prey. These magnificent creatures, with wingspans reaching nearly 10 feet, soar on thermal currents that rise from the canyon depths, their shadows passing silently over limestone cliffs that have weathered millions of years of wind and water. Hidden caves throughout the canyon system preserve evidence of human habitation dating back to prehistoric times, while underground rivers create mysterious disappearing acts as surface streams suddenly vanish into limestone sinkholes only to emerge miles away as crystal-clear springs. The interplay of light and shadow in the canyon creates an ever-changing display of colors, from the deep emerald of the river to the golden limestone cliffs that glow like burnished metal in the late afternoon sun. Local legends speak of dragons dwelling in the deepest caves and standing on the canyon rim as mist rises from the water below. Such stories seem entirely plausible. Bulgaria's Belogradchik rocks present our next destination, a geological wonderland where massive sandstone formations create a natural sculpture garden of impossible beauty. These towering pillars, carved by millions of years of erosion, rise from rolling hills like the ruins of an ancient city built for giants. The rocks take on fantastical shapes that local imagination has transformed into legends, each formation bearing names that reflect centuries of storytelling and wonder. The medieval Belogradchik fortress incorporates these natural rock formations into its defensive walls, creating a seamless blend of human architecture and natural sculpture. From the fortress ramparts, views extend across a landscape where golden wheat fields give way to forested hills, while the rock formations themselves create a maze of narrow passages and hidden valleys perfect for exploration. Sunrise and sunset transform the rocks into a display of colors that seems almost supernatural, as the sandstone glows in shades of amber, rose, and gold. Local caves within the rock formations preserve evidence of ancient civilizations, while the surrounding countryside maintains traditional Bulgarian culture in villages where folk customs and crafts continue much as they have for centuries. Montenegro reveals another secret in the Bay of Kotor, specifically the tiny island church of Our Lady of the Rocks. This man-made island represents one of the most unique cultural monuments in the Balkans, created by local seamen who, over centuries, deposited stones around a natural reef following a miraculous discovery of an icon of the Virgin Mary. The island supports a Baroque church filled with remarkable artwork, including paintings by local masters and silver votive tablets left by sailors grateful for safe returns from dangerous voyages. The surrounding bay, enclosed by towering mountains that plunge directly into deep blue waters, creates a fjord-like environment unique in the Mediterranean. Medieval towns cling to the shoreline, their stone buildings reflecting in waters so still they mirror the surrounding peaks with perfect clarity. Traditional wooden boats still navigate these protected waters, their crews continuing fishing traditions that have sustained local communities for over 1,000 years. The interplay between human dedication and natural beauty at Our Lady of the Rocks represents the very essence of Balkan culture, where determination, faith, and creativity combine to create something extraordinary from the most challenging circumstances. Our final destination takes us to the remote reaches of Montenegro's Plitvice Mountains, where the village of Vučanje serves as gateway to some of Europe's wildest and most spectacular alpine scenery. These peaks, whose name translates as accursed mountains, rise above pristine valleys where traditional mountain life continues unchanged by modern tourism. Ancient shepherding trails wind through landscapes where glacial lakes reflect jagged peaks that seem to pierce the sky itself. Wildflower meadows bloom in brief mountain summers, creating carpets of color against the dramatic backdrop of limestone cliffs and snow-covered summits. Traditional mountain huts offer shelter to hikers venturing into this wilderness, while local guides share knowledge passed down through generations of mountain dwellers who have learned to read weather patterns in cloud formations and find safe passage through terrain that can shift from pastoral beauty to life-threatening challenge within minutes. The cultural traditions of these mountain communities preserve ancient customs largely unchanged by outside influence. Folk songs echo across valleys as shepherds guide their flocks to high pastures, while traditional crafts like wool weaving and wood carving continue to provide both practical necessities and artistic expression for communities that have adapted to thrive in one of Europe's most challenging environments. As our journey through these hidden gems of the Balkans draws to a close, we're left with an unavoidable truth. This remarkable region offers experiences that simply cannot be found anywhere else in Europe. From pristine coastlines to ancient mountain cultures, from medieval towns that seem untouched by time to natural wonders that challenge our understanding of beauty itself, the Balkans provide something increasingly rare in our interconnected world: the opportunity for genuine discovery. These lands have been shaped by the convergence of great civilizations, where Byzantine grandeur meets Ottoman elegance, where Slavic traditions blend with Mediterranean warmth, and where the resilience of mountain peoples has preserved cultures that stretch back to Europe's earliest chapters. Yet perhaps most remarkably, these treasures remain accessible to travelers seeking authentic experiences away from the crowds that have transformed so much of Europe into theme park versions of their former selves. The next time Wanderlust calls and the familiar destinations feel too familiar, remember that adventure waits just beyond the misconceptions and outdated stereotypes. The Balkans offer not just beautiful destinations, but transformative experiences that remind us why we fell in love with travel in the first place. The only question remaining is not whether you should explore these hidden gems, But which incredible destination you'll discover first? The secrets of the Balkans are waiting to be unveiled, and they're more spectacular than you ever imagined.